Thank you.
So before I came out, the desk let the washburn know that you guys were here. So she called the captain, Psycho, who you mentioned.
Yes.
And talked to him about what you guys did the other day. So he's related that it's basically nothing has changed from 2 days ago from when you came, the process in which that he would like you to follow. He would like you to email him your documentation and your argument so that he could then forward it to the DA special prosecutor for them to take a look at it and decide where they're going to go with this. So,
well, we're here to report a crime.
but there's not a crime to report. So in the penal code, do you have a penal code that you're looking at?
No, I don't. I did not bring it with me.
Okay. So when you're talking about obstruction of justice, you're talking maybe like a federal, something federal. You're talking about
We're talking about the police chief. We're talking about the police chief
Mm-hmm.
interfering with an investigation.
Well, I don't know if I really don't think what's the word? I'm trying to say the right words because I know this is a sensitive issue for everybody. The chief of police was, as you were mentioned, called and woken up at 1:30 in the morning, was given a situation, which was the call out there that they were handling, and you have, and I think I saw, you may even have it, the letter that the chief wrote to the city council, where he laid out what happened, what he instructed the sergeant on scene to do. So how he obstructed the investigation, there's a lot of assumptions being made because I wasn't out there, you weren't out there. I have not seen any of the video footage.
Yeah, this is the chief's own words here.
Yeah.
Could I ask the sergeant a question?
Of course you can.
You seem to be coming from the point of view is that you don't think there was a crime, therefore you don't need to take a report. Isn't that putting the cart before the horse? We're reporting something, then you need to investigate and determine whether it is or it isn't. But to say that we can't report it because you don't think a crime was committed seems to be putting the cart before the horse.
Well, I think this, and I'm just going by what has already transpired and what the captain said to do. So what I'm saying is, you've read the letter, you're here to try to report a crime. What we're saying is, this crime has already been reported. The incident already occurred. The incident that occurred out there has been documented in the police report. The internal investigation is ongoing to the actions of all the members that were involved, including the former retired chief of police. So if I'm trying to figure out, it's already being investigated. DA's office is already has already looked at the.
Well, the DA has only charged Joe Fells in this case, and that brings up another point. If the DA had enough evidence to arraign him months later, then why didn't these 4 officers that arrived that night not have enough evidence to arrest him?
Well, that's the thing. They also looked at all those people that you're talking about. There's police reports that document everything. So if the DAs thought that the officers or the supervisor or the chief of police were obstructing anything, that they would in turn have an investigation of their own into that. So I'm not aware of that. So again, we go back to the same point of.
Well, what we have are 4 officers who showed up. A man had an accident, he smelled of alcohol, and instead of immediately administering a breathalyzer, they called the chief. The chief says, "Hey, whoa, guys," and this is by Dan Hughes' own admission.
Right, well, whatever it says there.
It does. Well,
I wasn't there, so I'm not going to talk about what they did or what they didn't do because I wasn't there.
Joe, why don't you read to the sergeant the response you got from the Orange County District Attorney's Office as to where the proper place is to report this crime.
Reported misconduct on the part of law enforcement officers should be reported to the Internal Affairs or Professional Standards section of the law enforcement agency.
Misconduct, misconduct, and that's what I was telling you. There's a difference between filing a police report for a crime and then filing a personnel complaint for misconduct. It's two different things.
Yes, and misconduct is
So what,
one aspect of
right.
this.
What you're
but-
saying reads more on misconduct than it does a crime to report.
Dan Hughes interfered with official police business that
And
night.
that's your opinion.
Well,
That's your opinion.
That is my opinion
Right.
based on my knowledge of the English language and his words in his own statement. Now, no one is looking at this probably because they're afraid to talk about it, or they're afraid of the ramifications of bringing this up, or...
Well, I think
there's-
also you're in the wrong venue again, because I think the city council meetings are the venue for you to bring this
Well, I
up.
brought this up before, but when I believe a crime has been committed, if I were to get in between you and a suspect with my camera and interfere with you conducting your business
Right.
and interfere with you collecting evidence at the scene of a crime, you would have me arrested for obstruction.
Possibly.
Well, you would. I mean, that's
Depending
just,
on the circumstances,
Well,
but yes.
Dan Hughes should have been arrested for obstruction of justice.
Well, I
that night.
disagree because I don't.
It's not your call,
But-
obviously.
But I just disagree with what you're saying, but this is my opinion also, but the bottom line is,
Mr. Candler, I
Yes.
respect your disagreeing with me, but I have to tell you that when you have somebody who wrecks his car and he smells like alcohol
And is fleeing the scene of
and
an
is fleeing the
accident.
scene of an accident at 1:30 in the morning and he's not given a breathalyzer by the 4 officers that show up, can you please tell me that that's the proper way to handle police business?
I wasn't there.
But those are the facts.
But
those are the facts.
But those aren't all the facts. That's
That's
a
99.
summary-
That's
a-
99% of it.
Well, I don't think so. I think there's a lot more to it than that. If you had access to the police reports, which I don't, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is 99%. But
Are you a street officer?
yes,
If you showed up at the scene of an accident and someone smelled like alcohol, would you say, hey, let me call the chief because he wants to talk to the chief before I administer a breathalyzer? No, you would administer a breathalyzer and then get the guy down to the station and then talk to Dan in the morning. This was inverted 180 degrees.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm
Okay.
here.
yeah, I
Can I
understand.
just make one point? We're sitting here, waiting here, and I look up at the plaques. And there's a plaque here. Jerry Hatch,
Okay, so
killed by drunk driver. It seems to me that Fullerton Police Department should be very concerned about this case because one of their own died because of a drunk driving accident.
So let's go back to the beginning, and what you were told 2 days ago by the Captain Saigo applies to today. So
So for the record, in your opinion,
this is the
this
opinion.
is not a crime. Therefore, I don't have the right to file a police report on an incident that I believe was a crime. Are you refusing to take a report on this?
Yes,
Okay.
a criminal police report.
That's all I
yes.
need to get right there. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. County. I hate to put you in this